Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to create a new folder for us in our web root. Sorry, this is week 6, and again, we're doing it in the web root, week 06, and of course we're going to have to open up Visual Studio Code, and our old project is probably there. Yep, look at that. So we're going to just go up to File, Open Folder, week 6 web. Alright. I don't want to change anything. Okay, so I have week 6 web. Now, I want to show you the coolest trick that I've learned recently within Visual Studio Code. I mean, so much so that I was kind of shocked at what it can do. If I go to File, New, well, actually I can just do this, right? I can just pick New File. Cool. We're going to call this one HTML and php.php. Okay? So that'll be the name of our page, HTML and php.php. And I go up here and I just type an exclamation mark and hit return. It fills out all the HTML code for us. Everything that we need for a bunch of tags is there. So, hey, Visual Studio Code, you're kind of awesome for that. I can just change the title to HTML and PHP demo. All right. Now let's talk about how we can integrate PHP into our HTML. So first of all, we can, as I've shown before, we can just put some PHP tags into our code. You can put some before the HTML execute, or before the HTML sort of gets interpreted. You can put some within. Let's talk about why you would put some at the very top. We're gonna put examples up here, such as setting global variables, right? So I might have something like my user equals Kippy. All right. You might want to do a function up here. You might want to put something at the top, such as setting a function or defining a function. So I might have my function such as example return. What am I doing here, man? Dollar signs, example return equals semicolon return example return. Okay. Semicolon. There might also be things that I want to do way at the top. I might need to do, which we're not going to do anything with today, but I could do calling includes. I definitely want to do at the top. And there's something called redirects, which we'll talk about later in the semester, but I might want to call a redirect. I need to do that before any other code gets, any other displays happen. All right, so that's what I would do at the top. And then within the code, I can use everything that I've defined up here. So if I do a little code right here at the body, I can say, well, actually more like this, H1, right, welcome, and then I can have hello, comma, PHP, echo, I'm going to use my user, semicolon, and save that. Now if I go test this, go to localhost, whoops, my bad. Localhost slash week 06 underscore web. Go to HTML and PHP. Hello, Kippy, right? So it definitely worked. We were able to interpret this piece of code down here. Now there is another piece, there's another way to display some text. I could do it again just as an example. Hello, bracket, question mark, equals my user, semicolon, semicolon, semicolon. So if this works correctly, I'm going to show you the page source. What's happening here, of course, is that I was able to skip. Okay. I was able to skip all of this PHP echo. So this is a shorthand script in PHP, and it's the equivalent of doing an echo of a variable or something. And just to continue along with this, I can also do the exact same thing with the output or the return of a function. So I can do my name. I think you still do need the semicolon. I'd love to try that in just 1 second. Hello, this name, right? So that's actually really great that we can output our content from functions as well as this without having to do this PHP echo all of the time. Let's just see if this works. Curious. I don't remember. Okay, it looks like it does. So when it comes to the short codes, it doesn't look like you actually need to do that. Alright, so this was integrating HTML and PHP together so that we can move on to forms.